when we're talking about uh, installing child safety seats in other vehicles other than regular passenger vehicles, child safety seats are indeed designed to work with regular passenger vehicles, but they're not designed to work with police cars, say, that have partitions in them, or plastic seats designed to hold prisoners. Normally, when we've had to transport in law enforcement, when we have to transport kids in our vehicles, we usually find a vehicle that does not have a we don't have plastic seats, and we find a vehicle that doesn't have a partition in it. So it works much the same way. About the only time we do run into a problem is with all of our equipment and the lack of room we have in our vehicles.
We know from our experience that it's best for children to ride in a regular vehicle in their own car seat and not have them riding in an emergency vehicle if they're not the one that's sick. In this case, mom was sick, not feeling well, and definitely needed to go to the hospital by ambulance, but has a small child there with her. What we did was tap into some of the recent training that we did. We had discussions about what would be options for alternate transport. So what we did was spend a couple extra minutes at the scene, made some phone calls, arranged transport for that child. Someone could take him along to the hospital with mom, but he's riding safely in his own car seat in a regular vehicle. Obviously, if the child's sick, then we do have options in the back of the ambulance. This particular ambulance has a newer feature that has an integrated car seat that's built right into the ambulance captain's chair. It has very specific age and weight guidelines, and that's one option. If the child's able to sit up, that you can utilize that. There are other devices that can be used that are approved and can be used on the ambulance cot. It's not something you can figure out standing alongside the road or in the ditch. It certainly helps if you do some pre-planning ahead of time, discuss what your options are for alternate transport, and in every case it's going to be different. It doesn't happen very often, but planning for it's going to make it go a lot smoother.
Often as CPS techs, we encounter situations or scenarios that are a little more difficult to solve than others. Some of those other vehicles that we see might include airplanes or pickups with narrow back seats, or maybe a 15-passenger van. I'd like to share with you an experience that I had recently on the scene of a motor vehicle crash. The mother of a toddler was transported via ambulance with non-life-threatening injuries, and we were unfortunately not able to send the child with the mom in the ambulance. We looked around. All of the law enforcement vehicles that were on scene were incompatible with car seats. The fire department didn't have a vehicle available that was able to transport a child with a car seat. So we had to reach out to our neighbors. I was able to get a hold of the EMS supervisor at a neighboring agency who drove just a standard SUV. He was able to get a new combination seat that would support that child. We were able to fit the child to the child restraint, to that car seat, and we were able to get it installed in his vehicle appropriately so he could get that child to the hospital, meet up with the rest of his family, and ultimately distribute that new car seat to the family so they had a good car seat that hadn't been involved in the crash. Oftentimes these scenarios require us to reach out to our neighbors to really dig into our support systems, check our references, and find a solution that oftentimes is not that first solution that comes to mind. We have to do a little bit of digging, a little bit of work, and a little bit extra to get those accomplished.